Hi and welcome to the Kingdom of Sweden and our role-playing storytelling let's play in Crusader Kings 3. We are continuing where we left off. We just ended a lot of wars. We are seeing to our new holdings down here in the Netherlands. We are keeping an eye on our sons who has divided up Norway between themselves after the death of our loved queen, their mother. And we're also in a small conflict with the Jämtland girls here, or rather it's my son and heir's war, but we are in it, but it's only a matter of time before we can win this. And I noticed that there has been so many developments, so many wars, so many deaths in the last couple of episodes that I almost forgot that my bastard, Svein Freyson, he has founded his own house Örn. He is my son with a former lover, Gyruda. He's a bastard, so he doesn't stand to inherit anything from me, but he's my son, and he was one of my champions in a recent war, and he is now imprisoned by our arch enemy, Jarl Harald Tanglehead of Igdafylki, house Yngling. And I can't let my son, bastard or not, he's my son, I love him. I want him back. I have no other choice than to pay 50 gold for him to Jarl Harald, but this definitely deepens the rivalry between our house and that of House Yngling. We have been enemies with them since the beginning of this let's play. I think it was in the second episode, maybe the third, when he raided us, and then there's been a couple of wars and things going on, but now he has my son and I must pay 50 for him. I'm not greedy like the kings of Brittany here, who refuses to ransom their wives. Speaking of that, how's my dungeon looking? Here's a decent fighter. I will release you in exchange for your services. What about this one? Yeah, why not? I will release you as well. You are Catholic Dutch. You can stay here until our next blot, and then you can be sacrificed, maybe. This one we could ransom, but his father need to King Obsen of Brittany here, Giselle's brother. He needs to muster the 200 gold his son and heir is worth. He's a flagellant now. Maybe I should. If his father, I want the 200 gold, but really I should try to. Another option is to release him and force him to convert to the Asa to the faith, and then when he inherits, he will. I will look into that for the future. Oh, I didn't notice this man is for some reason my rival. Who are you, Alfgeir? I don't remember you. Apparently you're my rival, and I just released you from prison and recruited you to my court. Could come back to bite me in the neck, I suppose. Let's get him married to this quick Skjaldvør here. Yeah. Here is. Oh, it's from King Melis of Estonia. In the last episode, when we held court, he demanded that I sent one of my son's wives back to him because she holds claims to his land, and maybe he wanted to execute her or imprison her, but I refused. Of course, she was the wife of my son Bragi, I think it was. No, Balder. Yeah, Here she is, Darate Tontegode. She, apparently he called her a criminal and demanded that she should be returned to his court, but she is my son's wife and she's pregnant with his child. So there was, it was out of the question, but he is writing to us now. I am deeply upset, King Frej, by your intransigence in not acquiescing to my reasonable requests, as conveyed to you by my envoy Tatkia. Returning Darate to me was hardly an irrational demand, and yet you proved yourself to be more reckless and spiteful than wise. Kingdom of Sweden is surely doomed to an ignominious end with such unworthy fool as yourself on the throne. One can only hope that your successor does not take after you. Signed, King Melis of Estonia. What bitter words are these? So we are developing a rivalry with this ruler of Estonia here. As you can see, Estonia has grown quite large. He is a strong ruler on the other side of the Baltic Sea, so it could be a problem in the future, maybe. Jarl Harald has released my bastard. It's a good deal. So where are you now, Svein? Yeah, he's back at court. Maybe I should see about giving him some lands when the opportunity arises. Have him start his own bastard house urn. We swear by Frej's bountiful harvests. That's a good motto. I'll grant you that. Who are married to? Premislava Svenislavovna. Yeah, she was this pretty Russian girl. Remember her? And they have children. So maybe House Urn can be a part of our story as well. Only the future will tell. And here is another fighter who I released from prison in exchange for his services. Let's see if we can find him a wife. He's sadistic, so I don't want to marry him to my daughter, although she is the mother of the King of Bohemia. Maybe she and her son will come to some kind of arrangement where she marries for an alliance or something. I will let her decide that for herself, she and her little King Gretel here. Are we allied to him? I think we should be, right? No, it doesn't say that we are. Well, there's not much we can do about it. I can't offer him an alliance. So let's see about getting Urgmundel here married. Yeah, let's marry him to Eldgytte. She's an Anglo-Saxon of our belief. Know thyself, close to the end. I can feel it in my very bones. Hell will come for me soon. Like an old friend, she is patiently waiting to receive me. So this is it. For the king. It's the 25th of July, the year 907. And due to the king's great knowledge of his own body and health, he can feel it. He only has a year left to live. I will be dead within a year. You should get your affairs in order. That's what we are trying to do, but good to know. His reign is coming to an end. Well, he still has a year left, so let's see what we can do with that year. There's an event at court. Let's take a look at that. Here's my champion Helgi speak me to my young bodyguard Ögmundr Herjolfsson Borg. I made him my bodyguard on request from his sister, Chiefess Asta Bersidottir of Nordmark, in the last episode. Why would you honor that knave Ögmundr with a position at court and not me? My champion Helgi is livid. Apparently he had been certain that the honor would befall him and no one else. So Helgi here is my champion. He is 44 and he is not even as good a fighter as Ögmundr is. So he really has no... he can't put anything behind his words here. Had he been an amazing fighter, I would have understood his concerns and complaints, but here's a young 16-year-old boy. He can still learn a lot. You are past your prime, Helgi. Oh, come off it. Or I could make him a seneschal, but no, that Giselle was my last seneschal, and she will not be replaced that lightly. So come off it, Helgi. Go and train with your wooden stick, and come back when you become a better fighter. And then we can see about giving you a position. A rusty tool. Peering through the dusty murk of the armory, my gaze travels over multiple different weapons of war. A pair of battered leather greaves, a recently sharpened sword, a spear with a worn haft. A rusty farming tool. I pick up the farming implement. Perhaps it has been lumped in unknowingly with the weapons. A hefty tool, examining its curiously curved sickle-like blade, as I give it an experimental swing at a nearby hauberk. The blade pierces the mail, scattering a few iron rings across the floor. Interesting. I wonder if this could be repurposed. You investigate ways to turn this tool into a weapon. Or I say that's enough of that. No, I will investigate. Even though he's old, he's always been a curious man. Choices. Taking the small blade out into the midday sun, I inspect it more closely. The blade tapers to point at one end and disappears into the thang at the other, leaving a length of slightly rusty but still sharp iron in between. The kink at the blade's head gives the implement a wicked curve to it. Useful for cutting through shrubs, you'd think, or maybe finding gaps in an armor. Sounds like a scythe. It's clear this could be repurposed as a weapon of war, but the question remains exactly what Guy's said weapon would take. So I could strengthen the blade to a dagger. I could mount it on the end of a spear, or leave it as it is. So a dagger, a halberd, or leave it as it is. I would try this last one. Maybe nothing will happen, or maybe something more exciting than a dagger or halberd. Perfect the way it is, my rusty tool. The implement, which the Holdings blacksmith Cirkvir explained to me, is known as a billhook. As I enthusiastically supervised him sharpening it, certainly looks the part as a weapon of war. The blade emerges from the tang with a vicious edge to it, running up and through the weighty hooked head. The newly sharpened point glints in the midday sun as I work it into the seam of some defunct boiled leather armor before ripping it back towards me, severing the holding loops in a single swing. So I could get a billhook artifact, or distribute them through the realm. No, I was looking to get myself some more artifacts, so I will look into that. So here is my artifact, Farmer Billhook. I will equip this because I have no other weapons currently. I always wanted to acquire more artifacts for myself and the throne room, but at the moment there has been so many things going on, building a kingdom, conquering and all this stuff, but more artifacts should definitely be something we will look into in the future. I don't understand why my son and heir is doing so badly in this war. he's trying to siege and he's almost done. Maybe that will turn the tides. Yeah, he won the war now. Oh, here is Darate, the girl I refused to send back to Estonia. She has given birth to Sumarlidi. He's Hale, and he's my grandson with Darate and Balder. My son, champion and friend. What do you stand to inherit? I believe he's the heir to the Earldom of Småland. Duke Harald the Kind of Holland is coming to me with a gift of 50 gold, and he wants me to receive him in my royal court. Well, of course I will see him. He probably wants something from me, but I've been trying to be a benevolent ruler to pagan and Christian alike in my new Dutch holdings, and he is coming to me here all courteous and with a gift. I will show him in. Homage, taking a knee. I wait patiently on my throne for the arrival of Duke Harald, who is soon announced and ushered before me. He kneels in deference as attendants bring forth his gift of coin and precious objects. The oath is taken and scribes record his pledge to serve Kingdom of Sweden. At last I bid the Duke arise, confirming my satisfaction and Harald's right to the lands he rule in my stead. So that was good of him. We will keep that in mind, that Duke Harald of House Akra showed proper respect to their new royal house. And here my son won this war. Let's take a look at what he gained. He took a bit of Jämtland here, so it doesn't look so good for the Jämtland girls. Sadly, well, it's good that my son is strengthening his position, I suppose, but on the other hand, I kinda like the Jämtland girls. I want to see their line continued. Here it looks like we can unlock a dynasty legacy. Let's take a look. Well, like I said, when I picked this one here, I almost always go down this blood here because I like these congenital traits so much. But that being said, let's go for something else in this playthrough. We have this here now, but now let's take Wanderlust. It will increase my diplomatic range. It could make for fun opportunities if we can reach further down south with our raids and wars in the future. And it also means I can send people to the Varangian Guard. That is interesting. We can send them to Miklagård or Constantinople, as they say down there. Let's go out and take a look if we have any. What about my bastard? Svein. Can I send you to the Varangian Guard? No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe it's because he's married. I will allow you to marry yourself if you so desire. You're already married, but... Here, let's send my Order's second son to the Varangian Guard. See what happens. It will cost me 350 prestige, but it can make for some interesting developments for him. Hey, King Urbshen, you always come to me with these pitiful offers for your son and heir. You should come back when you have the 200 gold he is worth. Yeah, since we now has a connection to the Varangian Guard, let's get ourselves some Varangian veterans in our men-at-arms instead of those light footmen we had before. They will be more expensive, but they will counter especially heavy cavalry, and we will need something to counter that in the future if we're looking to go down here. So I will create this regiment. I will increase the size to 2. Let's do what we can to increase our men at arms before our son takes over from us. Speaking of my son taking over, the king is on his deathbed now. He has maybe a month left to live. He can feel it in his body, he can feel it in his very soul that the Norns have come to him. Well, as I said many times, he's not a religious man, but maybe there on his deathbed, missing his wife and queen, he is thinking thoughts that maybe there is a Valhalla where he can feast with the gods, eat on that big pig ceremony every night, and be with the love of his life, Queen Sif, forever. Maybe that is what's on his mind, or maybe something completely different, as they said in Monty Python, I think. And now for something completely different. Well, that's old 1980s humor for you. But yeah. When we start the next episode, there will be a funeral for the king, an inheritance, a new king of Sweden on the throne, with new problems to manage. So we'll see what happens there. I am curious and intrigued myself to start playing as Jarl Starkadr Freyson. He is impatient, gluttonous and cynical, so he shares the cynical trait with his father, but the gluttonous and impatient will be new personality traits for me to try and play into. He's a confider, it helps him manage the stress. He's also strong, that's good, and he's got this congenital trait, quick, that's definitely a good thing. He's also a comfort eater, of course, he's gluttonous. He's a Viking, he's a berserker, and he's a charismatic negotiator. He's married to a princess of Denmark, High Chiefess Aslaug Sigurdsdotter of Gulapingslög. Gulapingslög is their current Jarldom, but she is of House Sigurdur, my old friend and ally King Sigurdur Snake in the Eye's daughter. They have 3 children, as a daughter, and they have 2 sons. So, when I see you next time, and we click play here, it will just be a few minutes until King Frej departs, and then we'll see about burying him with honors. Maybe the people around him, his closest vassal, his family, his friends, will speak at his funeral. We will take a look at what he has accomplished during his reign. He is definitely the founder of a great house. Here he is. And look, our house is growing quite big. And all these branches, they will have their own stories. Of course, we'll focus on the character we're playing as, but there are definitely interesting opportunities for storytelling when our house splits up into smaller houses and forge their own destinies. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope that you are too. So thank you for watching this episode, and I hope I see you in the next one. Goodbye.